NMDC's board of directors have approved the demerger of the much watched for steel plant. That's the NMDC iron and steel plant situated in Nagarnar. Remember that this is a 3 million ton steel plant that does have enormous advantages. One being that it has captive iron ore resources, and I think this would be a big advantage given the fact that iron ore prices are zooming through the roof. So yes, they have approved the demerger of NMDC Steel. Remember, the CCA had given the nod for demerger of this plant back in October 2020 itself. Now, in lieu, of course, of this demerger, what NMDC shareholders will get is roughly about 293 crore shares with a face value of rupees 10 each of NMDC Steel Limited. What's more is that this later on will be listed on the exchanges. Now, if we look at the valuation roughly that we are giving NMDC Steel, it's obviously a valuation of 2,900 crore rupees. Now, it's a 3 million ton steel plant capacity wise. So, you can do the math and sort of figure out based on the EBITDA per ton what the EV or the enterprise value as well of NMDC Steel is. But I think before we get to that calculation, we should wait by and watch for a little more in terms of, what is the total captive mines that NMDC will have, because that can drastically change the possible EBITDA figure for NMDC Steel. So I think we'll wait by for those calculations. But yes, for now, the board stamp of approval has come in. We'll wait by for all the other regulatory approvals and the shareholder approval, of course.
All right, thanks so much for that, Mobina. Now, we will soon be joined by Kunal Bothra, and he'll give you a sense of how to look at NMDC on the charts. But while we wait for him to join, let me go across to Rajesh Agarwal, who's the head of research at AUM Capital. Rajesh, interesting development from the perspective of NMDC. What does it mean for existing shareholders, and what does a prospective shareholder have to bear in mind?
Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Mobina. And as far as NMDC goes, it's a very positive development, I would say, because from a very long period of time, people were waiting this to happen. This buzz in the market was always there that sometimes or other the steel plant is going to be demerged. And the worst part was the valuation of the steel plant was not taking into consideration in the existing stock price. And when it gets demerged and listed as a separate entity, there would certainly be a valuation which we, as per our back of the envelope calculation which we have done yesterday, it would come to around 20 to 25 rupees. So 20 to 25 rupees you are getting extra. That's almost around 50% of the replacement cost of the steel plant, existing steel plant. Earlier there was no value added to this, so you are getting 25 rupees extra, let's say for example, for that. And not to forget the kind of demand we are witnessing in the steel sector as a whole, which we believe is going to continue for another 1.5 years. So iron ore again is going to do well. So in both ways, NMDC is doing well. And at this point of time, there are a lot of short positions in the market that would again fuel the rally. But as Mobina pointed out, that there would be some delays in these things. It's not going to happen tomorrow. There would be regulatory approvals, shareholder approval. There would shareholders will people willing to buy should wait for some correction and then enter. We have a medium-term target of around 200 rupees on NMDC, and any dip should be taken as an opportunity to add to the stock.
Okay, Rajesh, do want to point out that Cheryl is the co-anchor on the show. Mobina was kind enough to share her research points on NMDC. Going across to Kunal now. Kunal joining in. Good morning. How does it look on the charts? Rajesh points out that every dip should be looked at as a buying opportunity. Are those opportunities likely to come by soon?
So good morning, Alex. I think one of the opportunities has just come by for NMDC. The last 3 months. From the March, April, May highs, I think, if I'm not wrong, of 200 plus for NMDC. The stock has already gone through a correction of more than 20% from these levels. Now, what I'm sharing is a very typical chart characteristics for NMDC. So what I've marked up on the charts is how the stock behaves closer to this crucial moving average on the daily charts. So as you can see that, spanned over the last 1.5 to 2 years, whenever the stock has managed to break out of this blue moving average trend line, every time the stock manages to retrace back towards that trend line support or that moving average point, it manages to bounce back quite sharply. Almost all of those bounces have resulted into the stock breaking its previous major swing highs. So we've seen that phenomena happening in August 2020. We've seen a very similar phenomena, just last few months back. I think in Jan 2021 as well as in March 2021 as well, where the stock managed to bounce back from its major critical support. In fact, at current juncture as well, the stock is showing a very similar kind of a price behavior where it's bouncing off from those levels of 165, 170, which has been a crucial moving average support. So if that support holds on for NMDC, then I believe if in history something to go by, then I believe a very similar rhythmic price action could be possible for NMDC. And the stock can break past about the 200 levels as well. So all in all, my conclusion is that I think it's a good buy at current levels, provided the stock holds on to this crucial support of 165, 170.
All right, there you have it. NMDC is a stock to watch, certainly. We've got several other stocks that are on the radar, though, and I'm sure that a lot of our viewers have queries for us. We'll come back after this short break with the query segment. I request our experts to stay on with us.